The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
And a good Tuesday morning to you, and welcome to the show. The boss, Dale Cooper, producing things this morning. Guarantee Bank Hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, coming to you from the Jared Construction Studios, right on time, right on budget. Visit jared-construction.com. License number WV030133. Phone calls to the show, a service of Guarantee Bank, 1320 Kanawha Boulevard East in Charleston. Texting services provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Taylor, on Virginia Street. Tony's summer hours, Mondays 11 to 3, Tuesday through Friday 10 to 5, Saturdays by appointment only. He's got some blowout prices going on right now on some of the clearance items that you need to check out. Also, WVU stuff is on the way to check out bestmastertaylor.com or Tony's Facebook page for more information. Tuesday edition of the show, 48 hours or so after the devastating flooding here in the Kanawha Valley, stretching down really to Fayette and Raleigh counties too. City of Charleston under state of emergency. Now that announcement coming yesterday. We'll have more on that coming up. Metro News meteorologist Brian Hughes says we finally dry out with only a slight mention of rain and storms, plus the humidity will be greatly reduced. That's good news. We'll see some sunshine, temps of below 80s, feeling much more comfortable and what it has been. Clear and really, really nice overnight tonight, temps in the 60s, and then a little bit warmer tomorrow, temps in the 80s. Chance of rain back in the forecast tomorrow night, going through Thursday and on Friday, but the weekend looking real good, according to Brian. You can, of course, download the Metro News television app to follow Brian and his team of meteorologists, and also follow along on social media as well. Coming up on the show, Kanawha County Commissioner President Ben Salango is here. Of course, cleanup after the flooding will be the big story. We'll talk to Commissioner Salango about, but several other things to get into with him as well. Thursday and Friday of this week, we have our annual Radiothon, the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon, to be exact, raising money for WVU Medicine Golisano Children's. Logan Scott from our sister station V100 is here to talk about that. Plus, we'll get to your calls and texts too. Guarantee Bank Hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. Welcome to the show now, our Attorney General of the great state of West Virginia, J.B. McCuskey. Good morning. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, Dave. We should probably start by talking a little bit about all of our fellow West Virginians that are really struggling this morning and, really for the last week all over the state. I mean, there's some tough spots out there, and, our thoughts and prayers are with everybody out there. But we've talked about this before, these kind of disasters bring the fraudsters out, right?
Yeah. I mean, we see it, unfortunately, and I haven't had any reports of any yet. Your office may have, I don't know, but anytime we have this situation like this, they come out, and we just want folks to be vigilant about it. What are some of the things examples maybe in the past, not that we want to give anybody any ideas or anything, but in the past, some of the things that your office has seen when it comes to situations like this?
I think the first and most important thing is, if it feels weird, it probably is. And, our instinct as West Virginians is to be trusting and to believe in sort of the goodness of other people. And the problem with that instinct is particularly in instances where people are suffering, where people are desperate, that desperation can lead to really bad decision making. Always check with the Better Business Bureau, check with the Secretary of State, check with our office. Anytime you have contractors that are going door to door, anytime you are receiving phone calls about loan options, anytime somebody's calling you saying they're from FEMA, anybody who's calling and saying, they have some great solution for what your problem that has befallen you only in the last couple of days, be vigilant about that. And when something feels like a scam, there's a pretty good chance that it probably is one. You can report that to our office. We have people whose job it is specifically to make sure that our West Virginia consumers are protected and taken care of. But just be safe out there. And I'm a Harrison County guy. I saw the flooding that was happening up there. It looks like the Bridgeport athletic facility at the high school is underwater, and one of our beloved restaurants, Oliveria's over there in Bridgeport, is having some real troubles too. So everybody in Harrison County, all across the state, our prayers are with you. If there's anything the AG's office can do, let us know. And if you get an inkling that there might be somebody trying to scam our good-hearted neighbors, please give us a call and let us find them and get rid of them.
And we want to make sure that people realize this doesn't mean people that come up. I mean, face it, in West Virginia, we're all, as you said, you're a Harrison County guy. I live in Putnam County, Logan County by nature. We know our neighbors. That's the thing. And when you have somebody that just shows up that maybe at your house that you've never seen in the neighborhood before, maybe a truck or van that you don't recognize, and look, they may have the best of intentions, but it's real simple to find out if they're in good standing. As you mentioned, the Secretary of State's office, that's a great website you can go to make sure it's just a business in good standing in West Virginia, because if they're a reputable business, JB, then they're going to be on there.
Yeah, and that applies to charities too. There's a lot of people in West Virginia who weren't affected by this flooding who are going to try to help their neighbors, and make sure that when you're giving money, you're giving it to a reputable place. And the Red Cross is a really great place to start. If you're just looking for a way to help, make sure you're giving your money to somebody who's going to take that money and use it wisely. We learned this lesson in the auditor's office in spades during the first set of flooding down in Greenbrier and Summers and Nicholas and Fayette counties. There were millions of dollars given that were never appropriately given to the people in places like Richwood. So just be vigilant. If you're going to be generous, please be generous, but please do so in a smart way and make sure your money's going to somebody who's actually going to help one of us. We're
talking again with Attorney General Jimmy McCuskey. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by the Charleston Dirty Birds. Birds are on the road all this week, taking on Gastonia. They're back at Gomart Ballpark, though, next Tuesday. Started a series against Lancaster. Visit dirtybirdsbaseball.com for more information. I want to take a look at a case that your office was involved in. A federal court has struck down a bill, and if I understand this correctly, Congress reduced a $200 tax on gun silencers, short-barreled rifles, shotguns, etc., to zero as part of the big, beautiful bill. It did, however, keep a lot of the paperwork, like photographs and fingerprint requirements, etc. And your office in other states had a problem with that. Do I have that correct?
Yeah, so the only way that Congress is allowed to regulate in the area that we're talking about, which is certain kinds of firearms and certain firearms accessories, which are otherwise legal, is through their taxing authority. And once the tax was taken down to zero, which, as you accurately mentioned, happened in the big beautiful bill, it became unconstitutional for the ATF, in our opinion, to continue to require that level of paperwork and registration, et cetera, because this came, sort of as part of a wholly separate piece of legislation. A judge in Texas, per the prompting of the lead state here was Texas, Kansas, West Virginia, Montana, were all major players in getting this done, has enjoined that regulatory scheme as it applies to the ATF. What we don't know yet, and what we are working on, is how wide that injunction, in terms of what this regulation does, applies across the country, but for us specifically here in West Virginia. And what we know is that this applies to the named plaintiffs, which would be the government of West Virginia, as well as members of the interest groups that were involved. We are working diligently with our partner states as well as with the federal government to get some clarity on what this injunction means right now. But our advice to everybody, number one, this is a huge victory for the Second Amendment, but number two is to continue to follow the guidance of the ATF. It doesn't make any sense to martyr yourself, to put yourself in jeopardy until we have some real answers as to how widespread this injunction flows.
So what else is keeping you busy these days, Attorney General? You've been out on the road. What have you been doing here lately?
We're doing all kinds of stuff. We have this great big case against Apple. We won a good victory in the federal courts over there in Huntington, keeping that case in West Virginia State Court. We've talked about this before, but Apple is harboring hundreds of millions, if not billions, of images of child rape and child sexual exploitation, and we are holding them to account so that we can hopefully give our law enforcement partners the ability to get a hold of those images and find the monsters who are keeping them and selling them and using them to exploit children. We continue our fight against the pharmacy benefit managers, who we believe contributed mightily to the opioid crisis. We have several hearings coming up on those, but we feel really good about those cases. And we just continue the fight to hopefully get permitting reform done in Congress. We've been fighting to get the Protect College Sports Act across the line. Our office worked very, very closely with Senator Cruz and Senator Schmidt to try to get a vote on that bill 2 weeks ago, I guess. Unfortunately, that did not happen. It appears that we have a vote on that coming in the September term when they come back. That's an incredibly important bill for the colleges here in West Virginia, specifically Marshall and WVU. If this NIL system doesn't get fixed, what we're going to find is the sort of mid-sized state schools like Marshall and WVU will be in real trouble. And that trouble really flows into particularly women's sports, as well as the Olympic sports that don't generate too much revenue. But those are very important things to the people of West Virginia. We want to make sure that every woman and girl here in the state has the opportunity to participate in high-end college athletics at one of our two premier universities here in the state.
And, of course, you got a couple of young ladies that you're trying to get ready to start school, I guess, right? Have they already started?
I do. Tomorrow's our first day of school. Yesterday was one of those crazy days as a parent, and all the parents out there who have a couple of kids in school. We had an open house at the elementary school. Then we had our first ever open house at the junior high school where my daughter goes. So she's starting middle school, which is terrifying. I didn't have any kids when I first got elected, and now I have one that's in middle school. We have middle school soccer, so that's happening every day. It feels like twice a day. But the Lady Falcons are going to kick some butt this year, and we're really proud of our daughter for making the team.
You got to get that plug in for the team, right? For the Lady Falcons.
You know what? It is. I am a loyal fan of anything that my children are doing, and so I will be the lead booster for the Lady Falcons this season. Just
don't get kicked out of a game or something, okay? Just keep
I'm a very quiet parent. I don't yell and scream at the games because I learned a long time ago that your kids want you to be there, but they don't want to hear you. And the best strategy for a parent is to let your coaches coach your kids. Tell them you're proud of them when they get done, and if they want to talk about some things they need to do to get better, it's always better when your kid chooses to do that on their own.
Attorney General J.B. McCuskey, appreciate you being here. We'll talk again soon, man. Thanks a lot.
Hey, you know what? That actually is a good plug for everybody. School sports are starting. Don't be a jerk as a parent. Don't yell at the referees. Don't yell at your kid's coach. Be a great parent. Enjoy this time with your kids. It is so much more fun to be a fan than it is to be an active participant in the officiating of the games that you're watching. These officials aren't getting paid very much. We're grateful to all of them. So, be as kind to them as you possibly can be.
That's a good way to put it. Your regular after-school special. You know that?
Yeah. You know what? The more you know.
J.B. McCuskey, appreciate you being here, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks.
All right. The WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon is happening Thursday and Friday. We're going to talk about this with Logan Scott coming up a little bit later on. We're raising money to support the incredible care provided by WVU Medicine Golisano Children's, from life-saving treatments to the little comforts that help make a child's stay a little easier. Your donation helps keep those programs going. Now, you can text the word WVU Kids to 34984 for a link to donate via credit or debit card, PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo, all the things. WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon supporting WVU Medicine Golisano Children's, happening this Thursday and Friday. And again, Logan Scott and I will talk about that in detail coming up a little bit later on. We'll take a break. Kanawha County Commission President Ben Salango coming up next on The Voice of Charleston.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses bring first-class businesses to your community.
When I set out to build our firm, it was built for greatness. It was built for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Office 222 Capitol Street, Charleston. Cases will be handled by West Virginia licensed attorneys. The attorney in this ad is not licensed in West Virginia. ForThePeople.com.
You know that little win you weren't expecting? The kind where you leave the store with more groceries in your cart and more money in your pocket than you planned? That's Flash Food. It's a free app that works at your local Kroger. Every day, Kroger posts deals on fresh meat, produce, bakery items, and more at a fraction of the regular price. One day, it might be strawberries. The next, ribeyes. maybe fresh sourdough. You never know what you'll find, and it changes every day. So when something good shows up, it goes fast. Just open Flash Food, see what's available at your local Kroger, pay in the app, and pick it up in store. No membership, no subscription, just really good groceries at really good prices. Download the free Flash Food app today. Right now, save $15 off your first 2 Flash Food orders of $20 or more with code RADIO at checkout. That's code RADIO. Code RADIO. Terms and conditions apply. Learn more at flashfood.com/terms.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. The latest in news, talk, and sports when 580 WCHS is brought to you by Jarrett Construction. Call 304-344-9140 for more information.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
The Cincinnati Reds host the Cardinals tonight. First pitch is 6:40 on your home for Reds baseball, 580 WCHS.
924. That's the Amos Steel Band, the official band of the Dave Allen Show. You got something going on, you need a band. Those are the guys right there. They're fantastic. Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Huston's Pizza. This month, get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and an 8-inch chocolate chip cookie, $23.99. Find your local Huston's for delivery, pickup, or dine in at HustonsPizza.com. Bring in now Kanawha County Commission President Ben Salango. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Start with the flooding over the weekend. City of Charleston, onward to, Cabin Creek and so many other areas that were hit and are still doing a lot of cleanup and will be for some time, Ben.
We're having a meeting this morning about doing a cleanup for cross lanes and also in the Upper Kanawha Valley, Campbell's Creek, Cabin Creek, Paint Creek, those areas. So we'll have more information out. Typically what we'll do in a situation like that, we can't have dump sites because DEP has to get involved. It takes there's a lot of red tape and paperwork. So we'll do curbside. So now we can't enter private property, but if you put it out by the roadway, right. So we're working on that plan.
That is thank you for bringing that up, because we just dealt with this in Upshur County and Lewis County. You had to, anytime we have one of these situations, we have to try to, make sure people understand the crews cannot come on private property. Yeah. They are forbidden by law from coming on private property. Right. So when the time is right, and we'll give you the information as to when it's going to happen, you got to bring that stuff to the curb.
Yeah, that's a pain. It's dragging out wet stuff. It's heavy.
Yeah,
but we can't go to your porch. You have to take it to the curb by law. So anyway, so that's the plan, and we should have the routes and times and days and everything. I've also inquired about whether we can get these these massive 30, 40 cubic yard dumpsters and set them in various locations and cross lanes. We're working on that too. I don't have any finalized plans for that. So that's kind of that's what we're doing right now in terms of cleanup. But the information that I received this morning, actually was last night, it was the highest rain total that had been recorded at Yeager Airport since July 19th of 1961. Wow. 4.23 inches of rain. The record was 5.6 inches back in July of 1961. So, it's been 60-some years since Charleston has seen this type of weather event. Rainfall. I mean, we've had derechos and other things, but most areas in Kanawha County received 2 to 4 inches of rain throughout the day. And of course, we've highlighted the ones that were most hit. We had 2,100 emergency calls come in through dispatch. 850 of those calls, first responders were dispatched. 60 water rescues. Think about that, 60 water rescues. So, and by the way, that would not have been possible. The fire department, the city of Charleston, and the city of South Charleston, thank you, because they pitched in. They helped us with water rescues in the Upper Kanawha Valley. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to get to them all. We had over 40 vehicle accidents and 150 service calls, trees down, gas leaks, those types of things. As of this morning, we've got 4,078 people without power. AEP is working to restore. The goal is this afternoon to this evening. Yeah. Everyone should have power. And unless something's changed since I've checked the weather this morning, I think we're going to have a dry day.
Yeah, we're looking
perhaps
good.
a dry day
we're looking
tomorrow.
Good. Yeah,
maybe a little rain on Thursday, but I think we're good for a couple days.
Yeah, well, that's certainly good news. I want to get this info out there too, Ben. The Martin Luther King Community Center on Donnelly Street is accepting flood recovery items, the typical things: bottled water, disinfectants, cleaners, fans, dehumidifiers, buckets, shovels, heavy-duty trash bags, paper towels, work gloves, et cetera, et cetera. Also, yesterday on midday, we interviewed someone from the Kanawha Starting Points Family Support Center, and they're accepting items, too. Now, they are at 12404 McCorkle Avenue in Chesapeake, and today, starting at noon, that group is going to be setting up at Sharon Dawes to hand out supplies and to offer lunch. And, Ben, you know, so many groups like that, churches, et cetera, all trying to help out. Also, the Kanawha Charleston Health Department giving out tetanus and hepatitis shots starting at 10:30 today. They'll be on Garrison Avenue, Sugar Creek Drive starting at around 2:30, and all day at the Health Department, 108 Lee Street East in Charleston. So many people come together.
Yeah, we appreciate everything they're doing. You know, that's important. If you're out, you know, the people that are working in this flood and trying to clean out their homes, they get cut or nicked or poked.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you attend to it.
Say it all the time, man. The understatement of the year. Floods are nasty.
They are nasty.
I mean, it's not just the water. I mean, it's the afterwards and the injuries that come, as you said, from that sort of stuff, and
the mold and the mildew and people. A lot of people don't feel safe. I mean, we had a lady that emailed me last night around midnight, and she said this is the 5th time that she's had water around her house, and she's only lived in Campbell's Creek since 2022. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at some other things. We're looking at, and hopefully we'll be able to announce this soon, but we're looking at some programs that the state and the feds offer to maybe help some folks, because their property values are not what they should be because of all the flooding. I mean, so we're gonna look at some programs to maybe help them out.
And will you hear the term, weather people say, or emergency alert will say, in the usual low-lying areas. Yeah. And it happens all over the country. It's not just a Kanawha County type thing. Where, if you're from a different county, where those areas are in your county. But it does seem like that lady who's been flooded 5 times since 2022. Is that what you said?
That's what she said in the email.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, something's got to be.
There's an issue there.
I mean, there is an issue. You're only going to do so much with Mother Nature. I mean, when you get the flooding, I mean, we interviewed the Chuck Smith yesterday from the Turnpike Authority, Parks Authority, about that issue that they had on the Turnpike. When you have that much rain, there's only so much you can do. But there are certain things that could be done, and we have a couple texts about that. But
yeah. Well, and we're looking at that. We started a flood mitigation program where we were looking at culverts and creeks, and we've actually working with highways too to try to clear out some of the brush that had been accumulating in the culverts, and that's been successful. And we've been doing that for about a year. We were actually getting ready to do an update on it, but just kind of a progress update. And then this happened. But, people have called about vegetation in the creeks and, trees in the creeks and things like that. And that's a lot of the problem. It gets backed up. And so we're definitely paying attention to that. We try, there's a limit on what the county's allowed to do. Anything that involves a stream or a river, a creek, that it's federal. That's the county can't just go in there with a bulldozer and dredge it.
Yeah.
Although, a lot of people were commenting that we should, but we simply can't. So we have to work with the feds. We have to work with the state anytime we want to do something like that.
Text says, we want the state to take our tax dollars and clean every stream and ditches in the state. We don't care what it costs. It's our money. It doesn't belong to the politician.
That's true. It is definitely not the politician's money. It's not my money. And we've got to do some dredging. And there was, and I've seen some photographs. Some of these bridges, I mean, you get so much sediment accumulating under the bridges, whether they're private or public, and there's no clearance space under them. And so we actually have worked with the federal government and the state to go in and clean out underneath a lot of those. And we've got some before and after pictures that we were going to do on our update that shows some of the progress. I mean, we've actually cleaned it out a lot, but once those get clogged, I mean, everything's backed up from there.
Text for Ben, what about a type of program where the county works with different businesses or cleaning companies to do something like maybe rent out or sign out, borrow, or loan things like sub pumps or power washers to people that don't have these or normally don't flood this badly? West Virginians working together.
Yeah, I think there are some nonprofits that do that, but yeah, certainly I wouldn't mind working with them to get those out. You know, we've got to make sure we'd be able to get them back.
Yeah.
Is the big issue. You know, but I know that's always a big need. The pressure washers and the cleaning supplies and pumps and wet vacs. You know, but it's 2 nights ago when the rain was going, I was down in the basement with a wet vac trying to clear out my basement too. I mean, we were getting, you know, just lots and lots of water in it. So I understand and it, you know, now it stinks.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a dehumidifier down there trying to make it smell better, but it's a problem. And these people, they're having their whole houses flooded.
Yeah.
Cars, houses, everything.
I'll have to show you this during the break. Somebody texted in a video here, and I'll just read the text, and you can look at it during the break. It says, I called the county about this a few months ago. Nothing's been done. Guthrie Road off Route 21 north of Charleston.
Yeah, show me the video.
Okay, I'll have to show it to you during the break. I'll have to show it to you.
Yeah, well, obviously a lot of those calls don't come directly to me, but they'll go to planning. And if we get a call, and I get messages too. People email me or they'll text me or reach out on social media. I don't see all of them, but if I get them, then I send them to planning.
Okay.
And then we try to come up with a plan. I mean, we have an issue right now out in Cross Lanes that we're working on. We've got a few others that we're working on through planning. And but yeah, if I can get the address and the video, I'll look at that too.
I will show you that during the break. So what was the deal setting social media ablaze yesterday evening? I kind of got in on this late, and I mean, you want to clarify what happened?
Well, it really started, and this goes on quite a bit, and I haven't really said much about it, but I think a lot of the first responders have been frustrated, particularly when you look back at the Institute. The chemical incident. It's been a couple months. I've lost track of time now, but we had a lot of misinformation. When you're dealing with a situation like that,
what was the situation? Let's catch people up.
Well, it was the reaction, the chemical reaction in one of the plants. We had a loss of life.
No, I'm talking about yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday was
what was rumored.
Oh, people were saying that a dam in the Upper Kanawha Valley was going to break. Well, that's the Marmet Dam. I mean, if you're talking about a dam in the Upper Kanawha Valley, now I think what they meant was a coal mine might blow out, but that's not what they were posting. They were saying a dam's going to break. We need to evacuate. Well, if you don't have an evacuation plan, don't post that people should evacuate, because what happened was it set panic. So people thought the Marmet Dam was going to blow. People up in that area, up in Campbell's Creek and all, they knew that there was water coming out of a mine. And they were worried that the mine might blow out. But if there's water coming out of it, then hopefully there's no pressure backup, and that's what the mine inspectors were telling us. But one of the reasons I did that was based upon some of the social media posts regarding the Institute incident, where they were reporting, multiple fatalities and hundreds injured, and you need to evacuate around. And it was people that didn't have any information. They were basically relying on rumor and creating panic, and it was just unnecessary. And I remember I was sitting at I was in EOC, and we had these people that were doing Facebook Lives and pretending like they had this inside information from inside the plant. They didn't. It was all made up. And we were on the phone with the hospitals and family members of these plant workers.
Now we'll go back to Institute.
Yeah, Institute. Okay. They were running from hospital to hospital trying to find their family members, and these influencers were on there saying that people had died, like talking about the number of fatalities, which was completely inaccurate.
And then there were two. We're not trying to diminish that, but it wasn't it wasn't on that date. I remember it well. It wasn't the situation that was being reported on social media.
So when you do that, I had a professor in law school, Frank Cleckley. He was a legend, in the Supreme Court too. But he used to say, once that's out there, it's like trying to put toothpaste back in the tube. It's just impossible. And so people get that. They panic. It happened yesterday as well. People demanding or saying there's evacuations. And so I just wanted to remind people that you need to get your news from a trusted source. I promise you that 911 knows about an emergency before your local influencer does. I promise you that, because people call 911. They don't call the influencer down the street. And that's the way it works. So then they accumulate all that information, and we disseminate it based upon whether or not there's an actual risk. And so at that time, we knew that the mine had been inspected. We knew that there wasn't pressure backing up, and we rely on the experts. I mean, just as anybody else should. And there were just a lot of posts that were unnecessary and, quite frankly, made solely for the purpose of making money.
Kind of lost in all this, and with good reason. I understand with the flooding going on. The Kanawha County Commission, now you and Commissioner Natalie Tennant are the last two. I mean, well, not the last two, but you're the two current. And it made it sound like it was a wrestling battle royal there for a minute. You'll be choosing a replacement for Lance Wheeler, who's taken over as director of the Ambulance Service Authority. Now that'll be, I guess, will you explain this before? And Natalie Tennant was on the show last week. She did as well. The strike system, the way it works.
So we're going to do it a week from this Thursday. It'll be August 27th. The Republican Executive Committee submitted 3 names. And I apologize, I don't have those 3 in front of me. I forget.
Austin Gessel was one.
Yeah.
Jared Page was one. And Ed I'll look it up. Ed Bird.
3 names.
Yeah.
So we the way that the law is written now, it changed. Is we have to do strikes. Since she and I couldn't agree on a replacement, of course, I moved for Jared Page, and there wasn't a second, so the motion failed. So then we do the strike system. I strike first, so we take the names. It'll be in a public meeting. I strike the first name. Commissioner Tennant strikes the second name, and whoever's left is your next Kanawha County Commissioner. And so it should be high drama.
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully not. You'll be able
I don't know who it's going to be. We'll see.
Got a text here from somebody reminding me that the Kanawha, and I've actually thought about this. You were saying about the equipment, the Kanawha Library. Now, I don't know if they have sub pumps and things of that nature, but they do have a lot of tools that can be checked out.
That's right. Yes, they do. I'd forgotten about that as well.
All right. Speaking before we let you go, I want to talk about Lance Wheeler being the former commissioner, now the director of the Ambulance Authority. Had him on the show a couple of weeks ago. Seems like he's doing a lot of good things there.
You know what? We needed somebody to focus on the budget. The number one problem with the Ambulance Authority was budgetary. It was never clinical care. It was not really operations. It was mostly budgetary. And so I think him and Jason Sargent working together is the right combination. We've already seen so far within the first, what's he been there, a month?
Yeah, something like that. July 1st, yeah.
He saved almost $300,000 in the first month. So that's what we need, because we had a serious budgetary issue. Now the board has been working very hard on that, which we appreciate, but we needed Lance to go in there and kind of affect some significant change, especially on the financial front. And he's doing that. He's doing a great job.
Text, how about meetings in person and on Zoom with representatives from the state as well as all 55 county commissions, as well as each county's mayors, and find what exactly every area of each county needs attention to reduce the number of flood risks that we all have. Get all these needs discussed at one informative meeting. Maybe one town has helpful for another, etc.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. We're actually going to do that. Tom Bloom up in Mon County has done that with regard to the jail bill. So he has put together a Zoom, I think it's next week, where the various county commissions, the president of each county commission is going to get on a Zoom and talk about ways to work on the jail bill from a statewide perspective. It would certainly also work on flooding and emergency management. I think that's a great idea.
You did have something you want to say about the jail bill here in Kanawha County.
Oh, yeah. Well, so we've had the task force in place for a couple months now. I'm waiting, we really need 6 months of them working to see exactly what it's going to do. But for the first time in years, for the first month, our jail bill has leveled off, which I could not believe.
That's big news.
It's big. So now we're going to try to reduce it. But, you're talking about we're spending $450,000 a month on jail bill. I would much rather put that into the Upper Kanawha Valley on flood issues and in cross lanes on flood issues. Much rather spend it there than, housing people awaiting sentencing or trial. So that was the first time in years that we've actually seen a level off on the jail bill. So the task force is working. Now we just need to see a decline in the jail bill, which I'm hoping we'll see over the next few months. Some of the programs they've implemented, it's just going to take a little time to get those kind of processed through the system.
All right. Now, those three names, by the way, I was right. It was Ed Burgess.
Okay.
It's Austin Gessel, Jared Page, and Ed Burgess.
Yeah.
I was right. It was Ed Burgess was the third one.
I appreciate that. I'd completely forgotten. I remember Jared. I remembered. I read the news stories once it was released, but I haven't even looked up their bios or anything.
Okay. And that meeting is going to be next Thursday. Right?
Next Thursday, August 27th.
All right. Kanawha County Commission President Ben Salango, appreciate you being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks a lot. And you and Mayor Goodwin are going to make a return appearance on midday today, I think, to kind of talk about, broadly, things going on in the city and also with the county as well.
Yeah, and she's got a lot of good ideas, and she's been out with the workers. I mean, I think she was out all night the night before last, with the workers, and she's been working very hard at it.
All right. Commissioner Ben Salango, 943, The Dave Allen Show on 580 Line, brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants. When environmental questions come up in a building, Pinnacle provides clear answers, specializing in asbestos, lead, mold, and indoor air quality issues. Accredited lab testing based right here in the state. Check out more at pinnaclecorp.net, helping you understand your environment, because what you don't know can hurt you. Talk a little Radiothon with Logan Scott when we come back at the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
The Dave Allen Show is presented in part by Generations Ford in Huracan, part of the Eric J. Tarr family of businesses.
At Poca Valley, your savings deserve Simply More. The Simply More Money Market is designed for people who want growth, flexibility, and convenient access to their money when they need it most. Whether you're building your savings or planning for the future, Poca Valley is here to help you make the most of every dollar. Ready to learn more? Visit PocaValleyBank.com, call 844-782-2651, or stop into your nearest Poca Valley branch today. At Poca Valley, relationships matter. Member FDIC.
August is the time to save on your Kanawha personal property taxes. Pay on or by September 1st to receive your first half discount. You can pay by credit, debit card online at kanawsheriff.us, pay by mail, and at the tax division lobby at the courthouse or one of our 5 detachment locations. Pay your motor vehicle taxes on time to receive the West Virginia Property Tax Adjustment Credit. Visit us online and click on Pay Taxes to learn more.
Adventure is boundless. Adventure is a journey that never ceases. When you hit the open road or the open water, time stops and adventure begins. From anchors away to kickstands up, a continuous tradition of adventure is the spirit that drives Trojan Landing Marine and Power Sports. Featuring Royal Enfield motorcycles, for you, a highway, and the horizon in the chase for endless adventure. Discover more at TrojanLanding.com or visit Trojan Landing Marine and Power Sports in Charleston today.
Have you ever dreamed of a project that seemed impossible? Wondered who could bring it to life with precision and care? At Jared Construction, they don't just build, they craft futures. From historic restorations to cutting-edge designs, they have been your trusted partner since 1999. Whether it's an auto dealership, apartment complex, sports complex, or church addition, Jared Construction has you covered. See more at jared-construction.com. WV030133.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jared Construction.
Go Mart and your favorite WVRC media stations, giving you the chance to win an incredible VIP experience at WVU's season opener September the 5th when the Mountaineers take on Coastal Carolina. You can become a miracle maker for the upcoming Radiothon, and you're automatically registered to win. One lucky winner gets a chance to walk the man trip into the stadium with the team, attend a VIP tailgate party before the game, field access before kickoff, and 4 touchdown terrace tickets as well. Once-in-a-lifetime experience, folks. And you can help West Virginia's kids while getting your chance to win as well. All the rules and details at your favorite WVRC media or radio station website. Go Mart, the official convenience store of WVU Athletics and WVRC media stations. Let's go. Speaking of said Radiothon, Logan Scott from V100 is with us right now. How you doing, my friend?
I'm well, ready for Radiothon.
Radiothon. It is back. Let's talk about the time. We start when... So first thing Thursday morning, right?
Thursday morning, 6 a.m. Steve and Jenny. Jenny's going to be on site for V100, and a couple of our other stations here in Charleston are participating in Radiothon too. 96.1 KWS. And, you know, it's very interesting to be on the 10th floor at WVU Medicine Children's, looking at Milan Puskar Stadium and knowing that 183,000 kids visited last year at WVU Medicine Golisano Children's. So that would fill WVU Milan's Puskar Stadium like 3 times.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. And, we've been a part of this for a number of years. And anything that you can do when kids are suffering like this, Logan, I mean, the anything you can do to give them a little bit of comfort while they're there.
Absolutely. It's something as small as a teddy bear because they can't take their own toys or comfort bears, stuffed animals, things like that to the hospital. So it's little things that give them some normalcy that your donations are going back to.
And of course, there's so many people. I don't know whether you have a list or not, but I do not have in front of me a list of all the people making it possible as far as our sponsors go.
I do.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We want to thank the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, Best Virginia Heating and Cooling, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, Poca Valley, the Peyton Law Firm, and Gomart.
Yeah, big shout out to all of them. And again, we're going to be telling you some of their stories, and not so much commercials for them, but why it is that they get involved in things like that.
Absolutely.
Because whenever we have these types of events, a few of those that you mentioned there, a couple of them are new, but for the most part, those are the first ones that step up.
Right.
West Virginia-based companies, they just step up and say, what can we do to help?
Right. Yeah, and just some facts for you here. In Kanawha County last year, 1,426 outpatient visits. So that could be at WVU Medicine Thomas because they have children's down here as well, or could be at the actual facility in Morgantown, and 54 inpatient stays in Kanawha County last year.
I mean, that's so you want to try to bring it close to home.
Absolutely.
It does. It's helping Kanawha County. I'm sure the other surrounding counties, Putnam and Clay and Roane and Jackson, I'm sure that they've all got big numbers there as well.
And, I always say everybody knows somebody who, a family member, a child, a daughter, a mom who has utilized WVU Medicine Children's.
And you have a personal story.
I do, yeah. My cousin Ainsley, she suffered an eye injury a few years back in Mineral County. She was shipped to Mon County at WVU Medicine Galisanos, and she was treated. Everything's fine now, but again, everybody has some sort of connection to WVU Medicine Children's.
And you can text the word WVU Kids to 34984 for a link, Logan.
Yeah.
And you can donate that way via your credit or debit card, PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo.
And that's live now. So if you may forget on Thursday or Friday, we're talking about it now.
We're not going to let you forget.
Ahead. No, we won't. We won't. But go ahead. Yeah, that link is active now. So it's WVU Kids. Text that to 34984.
And you're heading to Morgantown, I understand, right?
Yeah. Yep. So I'll be broadcasting with some of our other sister stations in the morning, and then on V100 from noon to 6.
I mean, and I've never had the opportunity to do that, but from what I understand, talking to you and others, that really brings it home.
It does
when you do that,
especially when you have the family sitting right in front of you, and just it's so raw, just sharing their stories.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So again, if you want to go ahead and get your donations, you can text the word WVU Kids to 34984. That'll give you a link. You can donate all those different ways that we talked about. We'll be doing it Thursday and Friday. And again, we're trying to help out WVU Medicine Golisano Children's. They do so many things up there. You're going to be hearing a whole lot about it over the next couple of days. Radiothon Thursday and Friday. Logan, appreciate you being here, man.
Absolutely.
All right. 9:50, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by the all-new Generations Ford of Hurricane. Visit generationsford.com. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
The Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for shopping locally.
Charleston, there's a new bank in town, but it's built on something timeless: relationships. Guarantee Bank is now open on the Boulevard, bringing community banking back to the Kanawha Valley. We're local decision makers, real people, and a team that understands West Virginia business. Whether you're growing your company, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Stop by our new Charleston branch at 1320 Kanawha Boulevard and experience banking the way it should be. Guarantee Bank, where community comes first.
July 1st is a busy time for the Putnam County Assessor's Office. Personal property assessment forms will be arriving in your mailbox and must be returned to the Assessor's Office by October 1st. Business owners are required to file a business return between July 1st and September 1st. Farm use discount applications also accepted July 1st through September 1st. Homestead exemption applications are accepted July 1st through December 1st. For more information or to use their online filing service, visit PutnamCOAssessor.com. That's PutnamCOAssessor.com.
According to Feeding America, over 7 million seniors nationwide were food insecure in 2022. West Virginia is no different. Hi, I'm Jason, President and CEO of Union Mission Ministries. For 113 years, Union Mission has focused on helping people in need. Right now, our senior citizens need our help. That is why Union Mission is partnering with local senior living facilities to get food delivered directly to those in need. Will you help us reach more seniors? Visit unionmission.com to learn more.
The City of Nitro is celebrating the opening of the Nitro Youth Football season on Saturday, August 22nd. The festivities kick off at 10 a.m. with the Nitro Sports Card and Collectible Show at Nitro High School. WVU great Owen Schmidt will be on hand signing autographs from 10 until 1 p.m., then a team parade at 2 p.m. with Schmidt serving as Grand Marshal. Schmidt will also conduct the season opening coin toss at Underwood Field. It's your chance to meet one of WVU's all-time greats and be part of Nitro's kickoff of youth football season.
7 away from 10 on a Tuesday morning. Welcome back to the show. Sounds of the Amos Steel Band. Love those guys. Got an event coming up. You need a band. Right there's your guys right there. Just look them up on Facebook. Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan. If you're injured, hire Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Text says this was for the Attorney General. Well, that's on me because I did not see the text, and I think we already wrapped up at that point. But in case he's still listening, I'll read it anyway. With so many states now, such as Michigan, Minnesota, and slowly Texas, basically allowing Sharia law to shred the U.S. Constitution, should West Virginia pass a bill to, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this, declare that no other type of legal status will ever override or pervert the U.S. Constitution, says a texter. Okay. Text, I think we need to have several great representatives of who we West Virginians truly are that are not nationally known, like Ben Salango, Lance Wheeler, Frank Mullins, Amy Schuler Goodwin, to visit both houses of Congress and the legacy media journalists to teach these people how to freaking get along, even though they're from different sides of the political spectrum, without being just nasty, insulting, and disrespectful to each other. That's the issue, the sheer mean girls type of personal spite and hatred toward each other. I'm sick of it in D.C. Teach them to be adults. I want to get this out there. You hear me talk about the Backpack Buddy program with a good buddy, Doug Irwin. He sent me some information. They're going to be packing personal care boxes tonight at 6 at the Tays Valley Church of Nazarene. They're going to pack over 400 boxes of personal care items that will be mailed to students ahead of the start of the year. Now, they've already mailed 4,500 boxes this summer. And they say, Doug says in his text, they look forward to helping many more kids before school starts. And so they need help with this. Again, it's at 6 o'clock tonight, Tays Valley Church in the Nazarene. And community service certificates are available for all students. So, you know, if you're going to graduate in West Virginia, you got to do so many community service hours. So just check it out. And again, you can just go to Backpack Buddies, their Facebook page. You'll see all the information there. The event, though, 6 o'clock tonight at Tays Valley Church of Nazarene. Appreciate a good friend, Doug Irwin, throwing that out there and giving us that information. Text. Okay, hold on. Sometimes we get a lot of text from from the same number. Text. So the Strait of Hormuz is an American territory now. Anyone else tired of Donald Trump and MAGA's agitation propaganda? This administration has been nothing but stirring anger, punitive policies, warmongering, financial corruption on a scale never seen. The United States is worse off because of Donald Trump. Want to remind you, Marshall University Quarterback Club of Charleston doing their annual Paint the Capital City Green event Thursday, August 27th. 1 week from this Thursday at the Bill No Flight School at West Virginia International Yeager Airport. Starts at 6. Head football coach Tony Gibson will be there. Basketball coach Corny Jackson. A bunch of other coaches will be there as well. The athletic director Gerald Harrison is there. And the voice of the Thundering Herd Steve Cotton will be doing a little bit of a coaches roundtable as well. I'll be serving as the MC along with Steve Animal from 98.7 The Mouth and Wild, a Wonderful Classic Rock. All proceeds benefit the Marshall Big Green. Tickets or more, visit herdzone.com or call 304-696-4661. Coming up later today, Metro News Midday. No Amanda Barron today. She is off. She will return tomorrow, so I'm going to be flying the ship solo. Greg Thomas, Republican strategist, is going to join us on the show today. Of course, he's also with Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse. He'll join me. Jeff Jenkins has the news. Dave Weekley will stop by, and, of course, more on the flood recovery efforts in Kanawha County and Fayette County and the other areas as well. Also, and as I mentioned earlier, Charleston Mayor Amy Schuler-Goodwin, along with Kanawha County Commission President Ben Salango, both going to be on the show today. Mike Nolting is going to join us to talk about this whole thing with the green buses. School's starting, and they're parked. So we'll talk to Mike Nolting. He did a story that you can read at WVMetroNews.com. We'll talk to Nolting about that. And the mayor of the village of Barbersville, Chris Tatum, will join us on the show today. And, of course, we'll do Open Line West Virginia as well. Again, no Amanda Barron today. She got some family business to take care of. She will be back tomorrow. Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law, coming up at noon today. On this show tomorrow, our good friend Millie Snyder is going to stop by, and also Adam Harris from Mountain Stage is going to stop by as well. Mountain Stage is really kind of interesting. As you know, a couple times a week, or a couple times a month, I should say, our sister station, 98.7 The Mountain Wild and Wonderful Classic Rock, we do a live broadcast. We call it Thirsty Thursday at 5th Street Brewing Company in Summer Street in Charleston. Doing something a little bit different this week. Steve Animal will be there, but I think we're kind of celebrating Mountain Stage there as well. So Adam Harris is going to join us to talk about that coming up on the show tomorrow. Now, programming note, as I said, Amanda is not on the show today on midday. Tomorrow, I will be here doing this show, but I will not be on midday tomorrow because I've been asked to MC the State of the Valley event. It's an annual collaboration between groups like the Charleston Area Alliance and the Putnam County Chamber of Commerce, Greater Huntington Area Chamber of Commerce. I think Advantage Valley is involved in this as well. It's a gathering of just about every business leader in the Kanawha Valley and points north, south, east, and west at Valley Park tomorrow. And I haven't talked to my good friend Ashley Offer Glantz with the Putnam County Chamber to know how tickets are going. But in the past, it sells out, and I'm presuming it's probably going to sell out if it hasn't already. You can contact the Putnam County Chamber if you need more information about that. Also, quick reminder that every Friday morning we do the Almost Heaven Interiors Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week. We'll do it again this Friday with Angie Gillenwater, and interested to find out how they're recovering because they got a lot of damage up at the animal shelter as well. And so we'll talk to Angie about that coming up on Friday's show. Almost Heaven Interiors, of course, located at 516 D Street in South Charleston. Quickly, TJ Meadows is here.
What's going on?
What you got on the show today?
Talking to ACLU, this lawsuit against the state over education. Mike Nolting joins us. Green Power Motors investigation. No Green Power school buses running. We'll get into that. Talk test scores. Harrison County flooding.
Buddy.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston, 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.